The deep learning is the same criteria. They are working, they are mimicry the human brain, right? They usually learn by themselves. They are more focused on the, the algorithm which used is the former which was performed, and they always check whether it is up to performing up to the mark. If it's not, it get improve himself. This is how exactly the deep learnings work. So we discussed about the deep learning in the last session. So anyone can brief if they are about, just we cover the little part only. So anyone can explain, even the picture and the theory is in front of you guys, but I want to hear from any one of you.
Sir, it was in the Venn diagram last slide. Last time you have shown in the Venn diagram in the center, it was a deep learning and it is machine language and artificial intelligence. In between that deep learning is there.
So deep learning work exactly, it's mimic the human brain. Like it always work with the process in the hidden frame. If I can give you one example, right? It worked like the hidden frame. There was an input, there was the hidden layers where it was do the processing, and on the basis of the processing, it gives you the output layer. And if this output is not up to mark, it get improved themselves in the next algorithms. It get improved every time. Like our human brain work, like what mistake I did today, I learned from that mistake. So I learned like where to hide and what supposed to share. In exact manner, the deep learning is working. So the deep learning exactly, it's the one of the only method, right, which help the machine learning to overcome all the feature related challenges and the things where there is a chances of the improvements. So it's usually work under the machine learning. So if you remember that diagram, I can show you again that diagram, right? So it's the part of the artificial intelligence. Under the artificial intelligence, if we improve the artificial intelligence with the more accuracy, it becomes the machine learning, right? The machine learning, if you remember, we talk about the three different method where it take the with the supervised, unsupervised, right, method which we discussed in the last session, right? And again, if we go on the deeper side of the machine learning, the deep learning comes in a picture. So how the deep learning was developed? If you can take one example of a 1-year-old kid, right? The 1-year-old kid can easily recognize the faces of parents or their siblings, right? He can also distinguish the voice of mother or other people's, even the objects. He can recognize the voice of his favorite toy also, right? And he can also inferences from the facial gestures and all, whether you are happy or you are sad, something that 1-year-old kid can do. So you can think about the power of brain. So same mimic try to develop with this deep learning. So it's the same like the neuron based working, where the processing has been done in the multiple layers, and every layer pass the process data only when that qualified with respect to some conclusion, and the second layer again do the qualification, working, processing, then on the third layer, then until unless the final goal or final output will be received. So if we can go through the example, like last time we discussed about the face recognition. So face recognition, when I said it was part of eye but not the exact eye related work, where the thumb impression, the face recognition. Now if you add the faces recognition basis on the features of the face, let's say you are on the one group pictures, right? Your face is visible, and some app can recognize you by checking your facial features only. So this is the typical case of the case study of Facebook, which I took, how the Facebook is doing this facial recognition in their process, right? The algorithm is not available. So the theory I took from the Facebook only. So how they are working, they are implemented a deep learning in the Facebook, to recognize the facial, and they usually identify the faces by the face features. And they used to improve the face features basis on the input number of inputs they are getting. So how they do? The first thing, as an input, they take all the patterns, all the facial patterns. Then on the basis of the facial patterns, they identified all the facial features like nose, lips, whatever the possible features are there on the faces, right? On the basis of the features, they develop their own algorithm, they develop their own facial, like with these all features, these are the face, and your face getting compared with the features which was learned from the initial faces database. And only basis of these, they used to implement the same in the Facebook. So there was a multiple layer. While I shown here is a 3-layer only, but there are a multiple layer for each and every face feature. There are again a multiple layers are working. If we talk about the eyes, there was a number of different features related to the eyes, retina, eyebrows, eyelids. There was a multiple number of layers, and they basis on these features, they used to compare your face, and they identified these features are matched with so and so. Let's say if I put my pictures, the Facebook recognize my features. Sometimes my brother's pictures was also got confused by the Facebook. They asked whether it is a Satnam. Reason being a sibling, some of the features got matched, right? So they are also improving on the basis of this. If I said no, it's not a Satnam, it's Manpreet, let's say my brother's name, then probably they also take it as an input, and next time onwards they will take care what went wrong, how it was recognized as a Satnam, whether it was a Manpreet. So this is a typical example, which was a live example, and this was taken from the Facebook blog only, how they are working. And this is exactly the deep learning, which work mimic the human brain, like our thought process and all. They want to overcome, like whenever we are talking to someone else, we are having a multiple thoughts in our mind. We process the thoughts, and then we express the final processed version of our thoughts. The hidden part always remain a hidden, right? No one can guess what you was thinking. The similar way, this deep learning work with the hidden layers and with some little bit instructions on the goal side only. For everything, we have to set a goal, so that on the goal side it was set. So any question related to the face learning definition or the understanding? These all are for the understanding of the deep learning. I want to hear from any of the two guys in the training, whether it was deep learning is clear or should I repeat. This is really today we are having a lot many topics to cover, so I will try to run a little fast.
Sir, one doubt.
Yes, Rahul.
Sir, I'm seeing that dot is connected to three other dot of next step. So why it's not connected to other also?
Sorry, I did not understand your question. Do you mean the dot you are seeing on the pictures?
Yes, sir, the input layer. The dots in input layer, na sir?
This
Sir,
one
one,
dot?
sir,
Or
behind. Yeah, this one.
okay,
This,
this was shown as the input layer when the data start processing. So there was a multiple mechanism on the which the data start processing. Let's say for this particular case, if we talk about this example only, right? If there was an input of the faces input has been given, right? The input faces, every face is having the unique different functions, right? And unique different features, not functions, features. So that features was getting collected, and this dot was shown like how complex they are working, like our this is exactly known as the deep neural network trend. So when the training part, okay, we skip in the last time the training part. So let me brief you on the training part. Reasoning of the timing. The training is a simple like we used to give a training, right? So whatever the input we are giving, right, to these for the program development, that input is usually known as a training, right? So whenever you heard this word in the AI or concept, the train and a training, that means we are talking about the input and the instructions given along with the input, right? So here what happening, why there was a complex pitch connectivity has been shown, so that the filtering of every features, filtering of every information at one stage. On the very first stage there was a lot many pictures are there. On the second stage they usually classified the pictures with respect to the ethnicity or the common features. Let's say all the round faces pictures are taken in the one bunch, all the oval faces pictures are taken in another bunch, right? All the triangular shape faces are
Yeah.
taking the another bunch, right? Then on the let's say the round faces pictures, whatever we collected on the bunch, then there might be a round face with the long nose, round face with the small nose, right? So this kind of the classification has been happening on every layer, so it's getting narrow on every layer, and they are actually work in the same manner. The programming has been done in the same manner, deep learning has been implemented in the same manner how the human brain work as a neural, right? So it's also known as a deep neural network, what it's shown here.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Even it's written over there, a deep neural network is capable of composing more and more complex features in each of its successful layer. That means this every layer they are doing. First layer we did the classification, then another layer the further classification on the another layer. If it was only a long nose, then again the nose types are multiple nose types are there, one with the sharp, one with the broad, right? So by doing every layer they're doing the further classifications to conclude on the detail of that features and all. So
Okay,
that
sir.
the top layer which we used to sell, the output layer, the top layer is capable enough to apply all these features to the template, and once this template will be there, so that that template will be used for the comparison of the faces.
Excuse me. So that means after every layer, it's getting more and more accurate.
Yes, at
Okay.
every layer it's getting more and more accurate, and
Thank
but the processing part is never seen. It was you always get the output layer in the deep
Okay.
learning,
Sir,
and
when we
deep
take our
learning get improved on every iterations. Let's say the first iteration, as I said the example, it got recognized my brother as myself, right? If I said no, it's not me, then that was the feedback for deep learning program. So it get improved on the every iterations. Yeah, sorry ma'am, some was I interrupted in between.
yes, sir, I was asking whether they will consider our retina also. Means they will check
Look,
our
in the
retina.
pictures retina cannot be captured, ma'am. The
Okay,
retina
like
scanning is required, but they can probably, I'm not sure. It was never mentioned while I was collecting this information on the blog and also. So retina was never mentioned, and I believe retina can be captured only from the live eyes. And from the pictures, it's something real impossible.
okay, sir.
As per my knowledge, it might be possible, as I am not aware. But so far, what I read about this, it was not possible.
Sir, if they will scan our retina also, then it will be one more accurate layer. No, sir.
Right. So that retina scanning and all was used in your Aadhaar card and the other biometric
Yes,
functions. But this
yes.
kind of feature was implemented by the Google Pictures, the Facebook. We are discussing a typical example of Facebook how they are using. So the same Google Pictures is also used. Same the new age phones are also used. They also try to identify your face whether it was you to club you the another album.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So if deep learning is clear, we can go to the applications of the deep learnings.
Sir.
Okay. So, the typical applications I am talking about, one is the speech recognition, right? Like how this all Siri and all working, all this Google Assistant and all, right? Another one is the automatic machine translate. The automatic machine translate, if you ever tried this machine translation, or if you ever tried on the Google innovation side machine translation, so they are having one, they are developing app and they are having one application where they can convert the multiple different human language into the known language. That a Google translator is also working the same, but they also develop with respect to the pictures. Why, if you are clicking any Chinese language signboard, it will convert it, the Chinese language signboard, into the English or even in a Hindi. So there was a, and they are also working so that by clicking the picture, if you are visiting some sort of country like China, where the language is something very different, you cannot recognize, you just click the pictures, it will convert and tell you what written on that signboard. So that is a machine translator. And the automated self-driven car is the best example, right? It was already working. So they, why these three example I took, let me give you, there was a number of examples, but this speech recognition, I'm sorry, speech recognition, what happened, let's say I was asking or communicating with the Siri on the some particular topic. The Siri usually take the, sometimes give me the input, sometimes give me the output, sometimes ask me the feedback, and on the basis of this all my communications, they got improved. If they heard some new word, let's say some new Hindi word from my side, and they try to add in their database and they try to identify it with the all the references source, what does mean by this particular word, where this word can be used. We will discuss in a very detail in this NLP session also. We will cover it today also. So they used to improve themselves without invention or something, just on the basis of this reference and all, they used to get improved. The same, this machine translation is getting improved with the different human languages, different human signs, different all these written languages. So they are improving themselves. If they found something, a new word, they used to add in their database, and probably you will got maybe first time when you tried it for the first time, there will be no output, but later on, maybe after 5 days, 10 days or a month, you will get the same word was getting used by that your Google translator or the your Siri or Google Assistant. And the automated self-driven car is the best example, which Tesla is using on the basis of all the feedback, all the possible scenarios, and they are getting improved on the driven pattern and the scenarios, whatever they are collecting on the roads.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, if the machine is able to recognize our new words, so isn't it machine learning, sir?
It's a
Let's
machine
take an
learning.
example of machine learning and deep learning both.
Yes, the machine learning is usually work on the basis of the either is the supervised or unsupervised manner, and where you required, where minimum intervention is required over there. Deep learning, what they did, they used to improve their programming every iterations. Let's say the output what you got, right, is also getting processed, and they try to improve themselves. So deep learning usually take all the references, and they don't require, like in the machine learning, let's say if you are using the supervised machine learning, that word was not part of your database, not part of your training, what you give the train to the machine learning, then you have to intervene, you have to inform them this is the new word and this is the meaning, and you have to take the reference from there. A typical machine learning case, you have to maintain the library or a database, right? Let's say machine learning along with the deep learning, so you given all this reference to the machine learning and the deep learning already. These are the reference sources, right? Now, if there's a new word, then this deep learning, what they did, they process that word in a multiple manners. They bracket, they try to find out the part of the speech. They try to find out the actual meaning of this word, and then they try to correlate with the reference and the user's case, and then they will implement it. Okay, next time whenever someone asks this particular word or anything related to this word, what I supposed to tell and what I supposed to output.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, there's an example of deep learning. I watched a movie named My Name is Kara. That is an AI movie, and in that movie, the androids are actually the servants of the humans. And then the owner of that android, the android comes in between him and the TV. Then owner scolds her that you don't have to come in between me and TV. So the next time she tries to pass from that way, but she remembered that the owner told her not to come in between. Then she passes from the other path. So that is also an example of deep learning.
Is right. The instruction has
Yes.
been taken. The that Kara got learned from this particular. If the Kara is the name of that Android app, what part
Yes,
of the
that was an Android. Everybody should watch that movie. That is a very nice movie and very good example of this machine learning. My name is Kara.
thank
Satnam
you for
sir,
the
sorry to
recommendation.
interrupt. I hope this meeting is getting recorded.
Manisha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. We are
Yeah,
recording
yeah.
the session.
Okay. Thank you. So coming on the next, now on the cognitive computing. So how the cognitive computing it's now come in the pictures, right? So it's basically, the machines can give you some of the recommendations, or they can do the analysis on the data. But if you want some recommendation, like a human-like interaction or the human-like recommendation, so how you can get it? The recommendations, let's say if you came to me and you ask, like, I want to change my profile, right? So probably I can give you a few of the recommendation. Okay, you are good with this coding and all. Why don't you try for the development in some of the companies, or why don't you join this startup? Okay, you are having so much experience. So that recommendations I can give you, right? On the basis of your analysis of the data. If you came to me, I know like you are working as a teacher, you are good with this computer coding, programming, development language, right? And you are having an experience of so much years, right? So this recommendation and all is actually the human-like interaction with the machine, or a human-like interaction with you. So that where this cognitive computing comes in a picture, right? So the primary object of this is using the AI and the cognitive computing with the machine, so that they can simulate the human-like behavior and all the mental cognitive process which we guys are using, and which we use to interpret all the image, speech, and the and how we respond. And that learning, that behavior was getting introduced with this cognitive computing, right? So you got this cognitive computing is nothing, it was just a subfield of the AI, and it was implemented, reason being so that they can interact with the machine, they can simulate all the human behavior and the mental cognitive process what we used as a human being, and how we interpret all these things and respond back. And this was getting tried since the very beginning of this internet era. So they used to try this cognitive computing is a very old field, and they tried, and now they got the breakthrough, and they are getting better and better every day. Guys, are you with me? This cognitive computing is, did you clear, or should I go with one example?
Yes, sir. One example, please. It's not clear
Yes. So,
properly.
okay. So I can cover this, how it work. Let me put the example directly. Okay. So there's a one user case, like on which the LinkedIn is also working, and multiple portals are working on that. So there is a artificial intelligence. How artificial intelligence that work? let's say you given your CV or the information to the artificial intelligence. So what they can do, they can access your skill, they can give you all this information, like your pay scale is this, and with your experience, with your CV and your targeted field, this will be your pay scale, right? And all this kind of information the AI can give you. If there was a cognitive computing is associated with this AI, so what cognitive computing can reply to you, like the human in the human behavior, they can suggest you all the career path, like these are the career paths which are associated with your job profile where you can join, so you can change your career path also. They can also give you all the comparison of the companies. Let's say you was having a working with this MNC, right? And the similar MNC you can target like this. They can give you a comparison of your salary, like you are working on this salary, that's okay. The market salary for this particular position is in between this range, or this company is giving a this particular salary, this company. And also same time they can give you, these are the job opening and the open position in a market is there. So this AI can only give you all this data, but to give you, to correlate with your profile, to assist you, like you are asking your friend or like you are discussing with your relative, that cognitive computing associated to give you all the recommendations and all. So as I said, this cognitive computing is just a simulated between the human behavior and the machine, so that this mental cognitive process can be used, how we are simulating the things in the human brain. The same can be simulated by the machines, and they can give you, so that you can feel like they are not exactly a machine, someone human being is giving you the suggestions. Is it clear now?
Sir, I want to ask one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, how is it different from deep learning? Cognitive is also related to brain or mind.
It's a part of a deep learning only. It's a part of the deep learning. The one branch of the deep learning is a cognitive computing. That's why we are capturing covering along with the deep learning only.
Okay. But sir, this both terms are a little bit messy to understand. It's becoming difficult actually. Cognitive and deep learning. Sir, any more example?
The another example I can give you on this cognitive, like have you ever tried this your insurance portal or something, where you got so many recommendations of the insurance portal, the plans and all?
Yes, sir.
And okay, so in this sector also this cognitive has been used nowadays. Like they used to take all your data. If you are an existing customer of that particular insurance company, so they already have your all the data, right? On the basis of this data available with them, what they suggest you, like let's say your age is this one, your portfolio is this one, right? For the insurance, and considering this, they start using these suggestions on the insurance, like you can go with this plan, as you are going a very traditional plan. Now this is someone where you can get the so much of return and all, on the basis of a profile, right? And if you ask more about that plan, they start giving you the comparison with the other companies, they start giving you the comparison with the other profile. They also, if you are having your profile, they can even overview all of your portfolio, and they can suggest you, like with your ongoing profile or ongoing insurance, like there was a 20% lesser than the market what you are getting. So all these recommendations, like you are talking to or you are discussing with your friends or colleagues, in the same manner they used to give you. And it was no human intervention, it was given by the machine directly, by the program directly, right? And they used to revert you like a human being.
Sir, I got it. But one more thing, that means if we talk about this cognitive, can it work without AI? Separately, individually, can it be possible? Because you said this.
Okay, actually it can work along with the AI. It can work without AI also. You can say the cognitive, but directly or indirectly, AI is involved in that case.
Okay.
If I can give you the comparison, I'm having the comparison because this is the very normal question. Like people got confused why the cognitive computing you are telling and the AI other than the AI you are showing, right? So the difference, if you can compare in the AI, right? So what AI do? They usually analysis on the basis of the input and they try to give you more accurate results, right? Like if you are having a portfolio, if the return is 125%, they give you only the return. If it's a AI, like you are having 125% return on this particular portfolio. While the cognitive, what they can do, they mimic the human behavior. They give you like on this portfolio you are having 125% return, but if you can go with the another portfolio, probably you will get 137% return. Or if you go with the third portfolio, after 5 years you will get a 250% return. So that confuse you with all these things. Means they just want to tell the same thing like the human supposed to hear. Or like if you ask me how was this movie, right? So you never got a simple answer with someone very close to you. Ki, okay, good. They used to tell like that actor was good, that director was good, this part, this song was a good. And rather than this movie, if you can watch the another movie that is much better than this. So like the same behavior was implemented by the cognitive. So they used to give you not the exact result, they mimic and they give you the multiple options also to solve the any of the problem. See what are the possible solution or the what are the possible offer can be given to you. In AI, they usually find all the patterns, right? Let's say you are having a historical data, so they found on the basis of your historical data all the patterns has been found and they try to give you again more accurate result. While in this cognitive service, they simulate the human thought process on the basis of your profile, not on the historical data point. Let's say your age, your location, your all the detail, whatever they are having on the basis of, they try to simulate and they try to correlate you with someone XYZ and give you the answer. While AI actually responsible for all the making, the decision making, right? They used to give all the decision by themselves without intervention on the set of on the basis of the set goal towards the AI, right? Here, the cognitive they give you all the supplement information. No decision will be made. That decision you supposed to make whether you want to go with the plan A or whether you want to go with the plan B or the plan C. That you have to decide. If you ask AI is straightforward. Select all the A, B, C. As per the AI, if they find the plan B is suitable, they said, okay, I'm selecting your plan B. And the test case, like the cognitive service mostly used in a customer service industry, hospitality industry, or the healthcare, where you get all this information. While the AI also used in the same, along with the manufacturing and the retail industry, where the result is required, more accurate data is required, and the decision is supposed to be taken on the same time. So
I
is it?
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whether it is related to this or not. Where would it fit this example that when we watch movies on Amazon or Netflix, sometimes it gives us the option that because you watched this, based on that, these are the
This
sections.
this was not matched with the Netflix. This was only matched with the example of the cognitive.
So that
Basically,
doesn't.
no, that doesn't. This the recommendation is as I explained you yesterday. Also, the recommendation was on the basis of the genre of the movie or the kind and the type of the movie what you are watching. So they are giving you only the recommendation on the basis of that.
Is it
But
SEO, search engine optimization?
no, SEO is something very different.
Okay.
SEO is not related to the client side. Sorry, from the client side. Let's say on the customer side, if you are searching something, it's SEO is not related with you. If I am the website owner and I am doing some I am the service provider, the SEO applicable for me, not for you guys on the end user side.
Okay.
So
Sir, somewhere cognitive computing is better than AI, no?
yes, if you want the suggestions, so cognitive computing is a better. If you want work to be done more accurate, more precisely, and without your yes or no, then AI is a better. Both are having their own advantage and disadvantage.
So that means we can say cognitive computing basically uses arithmetic skills also in that one, and AI is a decision maker, good decision maker.
AI usually, okay, let me give you one example. Let's say you are having two kind of kids in your class. One is a front bencher who's a very brilliant, right? And another is on the back bencher who is also brilliant, but with the multiple things in his mind. He's not sure about the things exactly, right? So if you ask a question whether Earth is a round, I'm asking very basic question, right? So probably you are the brilliant, so-called brilliant student of the front bencher can say like it's a round. Yes. The backbenchers student can tell you, okay, it may be a round or it may be a square or it may be something you said like. So I think it's round or whether it's a square. I'm confused, right? So because he was out of his mind, he was not focused on the exact answer what you want. He was focused like I supposed to speak as you ask me something. So even he don't know the answer, but he tried to express like I know something about this answer. So here you can compare the front venture is the AI who give you the straight accurate answer. The last venture give you all the options and ask you pick the one which was you feel correct. This all the possible scenarios. So you have to choose and select. So cognitive is like that. Now this cognitive, how it was, I took a very dumb example, but this just to compare like AI and cognitive. Now where this cognitive is more useful, it's more useful for all the suggestion you want. Let's say as you are doing any trading on the market and you want the suggestion on the trading on the basis of your portfolio, right? You don't want the trade to be run directly, but there was a app which can suggest you all these options, which is having the cognitive along with the AI. On the basis of the AI's result, they can suggest you all the things. These are the possible scenarios you are having. These are the possible portfolio you're supposed to match, and so on. Or if you want to talk on the customer service, let's say the Amazon customer service, you are having a particular questions and they don't require any human to answer your question. The machine itself talk and chat to you, reply on your queries related to your queries, and you never come to know whether you was chatting with a machine or you are chatting with an actual human being. So on the basis of application and the result, this both are good at their own place. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. It's clear. Thank you.
So before going on this application of AI and deep learning, I just want to take a 2 minutes break, right? And I will be back. Meanwhile, you can read on the screen. Just give me 2 minutes. Yes. So applications of AI and deep learning, right? So there was a number of applications which can be applied. So one kind of a predict the future, chatbox, self-driving car, Google AI. The one of my favorite which I can explain you. In Japan, they are now trying along with the AI to simulate your dream machine. Whatever the dream you are, we used to forget the dream what we having in the night. So they are trying a dream machine reading, and they reach the 60% of the accuracy. And maybe in the future we can have our dream can be recorded in the form of a video or something like so that you can correlate. So they are also working along with the AI. They're trying to simulate a machine which can capture your dream in the form of video or something. The AI music composer, it's also working nowadays. People are trying the music composition without any human beings or something. The machine can generate. AI doctor, it was going in India also. This project of Google is going along with to develop a complete chain of the AI software where they can, scan and examine the retina to identify the diabetic retinopathy, right? Where the eye disease because of the diabetic type A diabetic. So they are also trying. So there was a multiple applications. So I tried to select the applications from each and every field. Some are from the medical field, some are belongs to the environmental and all. So deep learning, and this one is clear, so that we can move on the next topic, which is again the part of a deep learning. Any questions?
Sir.
Okay. Now going on this NLP, which is the natural language processing. This was I covered a few slides on this NLP as it was the part of curriculum, and to cover more on this NLP, how this NLP work, right? So
Sir,
yes.
sir, one question you told regarding the AI and application. If you can tell applications of cognitive computing also, I think it will be good. Can it be possible for the
Cognitive
cognitive?
computing applications you will find, like I can share you on the chat on the WhatsApp group. There was a few website like Bajaj Alliance or someone, they also use this cognitive computing where they are having the live chat where you can get all the recommendation of their policy product and all.
Okay.
And this Amazon chat, if you ever try to raise a ticket on the Amazon before connecting with the real agent, they try to resolve your problem only by the chatting. And then LinkedIn is also, the LinkedIn premium service is also using this cognitive for the your job seeking and all, to suggest your career path and all.
Okay. So can you share this information in the WhatsApp group so that it will be easy to understand much better?
Sure, I can give you all these examples so that you can go through these sites and check how they are working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep, sure.
Thank you, sir.
So on this NLP, so how many of you tried this Alexa ever? Or any of this app, how they
Yes,
are
sir.
working?
I use Siri and
Yeah,
Alexa also I have tried.
right. So
I have also ordered Alexa yesterday. So we are training it as soon as we are saying it nursery rhymes. So at times Alexa is not responding. So we are giving training to Alexa, and I was telling to my husband that this is known as supervised learning kind of. So I was actually implementing what you were telling that day.
right. So like I tried Alexa to explain me about the linear algebra today, and they picked from the Wikipedia and asked me. Let's say I can try right now how it was responding. Alexa, tell me about the linear algebra.
According to Wikipedia, linear algebra is the branch of mathematics concerning linear equations such as.
So in the morning, after this definition, it asked me whether it was a correct. I said no. Then they recorded the feedback. So by this, they are taking all the data collection and all. And how it's working? Like if I ask Alexa, how are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay. Alexa, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thanks.
It's probably the basic question, but do you think like how it can correlate? I did not enable the Hindi, otherwise I can try the Hindi, and Alexa got confused with the Hindi so many times. So this how this Alexa work? Any idea?
Now the Alexa voice is Amitabh Bachchan's noise, so he might understand Hindi also.
No, there was an option to enable the Hindi also, but when I tried it, it got confused sometimes. The Alexa use a very typical Hindi words.
Because it's Videshi, na?
No, it's a problem with me. Like I did my schooling in a Hindi medium, then all of a sudden I went to the English medium. So Hindi bhi kharab, English bhi kharab. So
It happens, sir. It happens.
so I'm a jack of language. Like I cannot be perfect in any language, but Alexa is much more perfect on this. So let's talk about how they are working. Right. So before reading like how they are working, let's understand what is the NLP. Right. It's again the subfield of the AI only, one of the branch of the AI. Right. Where they use all this ML technique algorithm of ML, and also they use the deep learning also along with this, so that they can understand all the human language. They can derive the meaning of the human language, the sentence what we are telling, and they can bridge the gap between the human as well as the machine, so that you can have the interface of a machine also directly. Rather than dialing a number, you ask the Siri, call so and so, Siri, do your job, right? Or rather than dialing this particular meeting, you can set the shortcut on your Siri. You can ask, connect me to the AI meeting. It directly open the WebEx on your phone, Siri, and connect you to the meeting, right? So okay, so there was some difference between the NLP, NLU, and ASR. I just want to give you a glimpse on this. This is very important. The NLP we discuss, right? This is the natural language processing. ASR is automatic speech recognition, and NLU is the understanding, natural language understanding. So when ASR is the speech recognition, how it will be done? Either it's a speech recognition or a text to speech. How it work? It work only the NLP, where it's having the processing, right, on the basis of a multiple features. One is the your name entry recognition, part of a speech tagging, text recognition, text categorization, right, and the conference visualization and syntax correction also. While the NLU, they usually try to analyze the word meaning. What is the relation of that word? Where you use the what word is the correct or not? Where it will go with your paragraph or language or not? What does this dialogue mean? As we said, like there was a one word is having a multiple meaning when you use in a multiple sentence in a different tone or a different locations, right? So that understanding is done by the NLU. Regarding that word is done by the NLP, and the basis of these two, this ASR, which is the automatic speech recognition, and if you want to write text to speech work. So let's go on this, how this application of NLP work. So there was a three, the process is a very simple in a three method. One is the syntax. When we talk about the syntax is always the same. It's the understanding on the basis of the rules and the arrangement of the words, how it will supposed to be there, right? So that they can form some meaning out of this. Then the semantics. The semantics are the understanding the meaning of the word, what you said, the understanding the meaning of the sentence or the other text, right? And then the pragmatics are usually the understanding the purpose, what you mean to say. On the basis of these three analyses, they try to understand the what you want them to work and what you are asking them. right? And the process and the method. Okay, before going, any doubt on this? I have to run little fast. Reason being, we are having a so many topic. One more topic of our data should be covered today only. We have to cover that also. So guys, I want to hear from you. If you are having doubt, we can repeat it.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So now on the user cases, we already discussed the same user cases. Only one user case has more added in this was the spam filtering. And why I put this, if you are using a Gmail, you usually having a multiple tab option in the Gmail which segregate URL. One is important, one is the social media or the community, one is the advertisement tab, and one is the spam. I believe you all had tried this new avatar of Gmail, which was launched 2 or 3 years back,
Yes.
where all this tapping. So how they did only because of this NLP feature only. So they tried to make the clubbing and the categorization of the mails on the basis of the body or the subject is there. On the basis of subject, they used to filter it and they put it in the different folder for your convenience. So that if you want the important mail, that means you are the only you are either in a two or you are the only one in the mail. They put in the spam where they found the fishy words. They put in the social media where they found the mail from the Facebook or something related to all the social sites or even the information related to the social site, right? So that are the user case which is live. And this sentimental analysis is also with respect to that can be used by the Alexa or something. If you ask them in the and some of the heavy words or with the angry tone, so they can analyze whether you are getting irritated or not. So that is also getting implemented to analyze the sentiments, not just the language in the word. So this all are the example of the NLP. The Grammarly is the app which was recently launched, I believe, a year back. Yes. Any questions? Or it was the accidental unmute? Okay. So the Grammarly is something where it get you correct whenever you are typing. You can enable it on the Gmail also. Whenever you are typing the mail, it will get you the correct. It will correct your grammar. It will correct the use of the word. It will suggest you the replacement of the word also. If you are the paid customer, it will suggest you should replace this word with the another word which can make more sense of to your sentence. So it also work on the NLP. So the other applications, I can only explain the one application out of this. That is the fake news detection, which is a really important feature of this NLP. So what they did, have you guys saw nowadays whenever you got the forward message on the WhatsApp, so forwarded so many times, the tab is shown over there. Or even you can able to check that message was forwarded first time
Yes,
or a
number of times is
number of
written.
times, right? So that feature was also implemented to identify this fake news detection or the to get the information. So how this NLP did, they compare all the statistics of that news, the information of that news with the trusted sources, which may be the news media or the media sites or government authorized site, and they generate the token. Whether on the basis of the wattage, whether this wattage is okay, then they mark that news is a correct, it's not a fake news. And if this wattage is lower, right, then they labeled as a fake news. And usually such messages got deleted and stopped by this the websites. Even the WhatsApp is also about to implement this so that there will be the fake information or the incorrect information can be stopped by forwarding, which is not yet implemented in WhatsApp. They will implement it.
So these
So now you said once that weight is above threshold or below threshold.
So how this weight is calculated? I mean, how is it related with the words and the sentences written in that
The
news?
weightage is a token. What I can see the token. Let's say if I search about one of the news, like tomorrow is Sunday. Hypothetically, I'm searching, right? And if there was 100 of the news website and the information website, right, they confirm this news tomorrow is a Sunday, right? Out of this 100, 90 confirm like tomorrow is a Sunday, and 10 confirm tomorrow is a Monday, right? So that 90 is the weightage is higher, right? So on the basis of this token and the weightage comparison,
Okay.
sources where they confirm this news versus the sources which said the false and the true, on the basis of that.
Okay.
Does
And
that
sir,
work on
who
images
gives this
also?
weight? Weightage is given. So who gives this weight, sir?
This is the algorithm mechanism of the algorithm to tell yes or no. Let's say, as I given the example, there was the 100 sources from where that news supposed to be confirmed, right? Let's say that algorithm is confirming the news, which I said tomorrow is a Sunday, right? That was confirmed on the 100 of the news agencies or the reference. And out of this 100 news agency, let's say 80 news agency confirm like tomorrow is a Sunday. So that weightage become the 80 versus 20. Let's say only 20 said and tomorrow is a Sunday, and 80 says tomorrow is a Monday. So the weightage is less, 20. So it will be marked as it's a fake news. So that weightage taken by the algorithm to compare whether the news is a real or a fake to stamp it.
So basically, this algorithm checks real time.
Yes, it check on the real time. There was a media source. Let's say if you are searching some news related to the finance something, so that it may be go with the all the finance sites. It will be checked with the all the finance newspaper. It will be checked with the portal related to the government finance means, let's say, Indian Finance Ministry के portal. They will compare with their. So on the basis of real time basis, they used to check. Not always, like let's say news was published and you want to filter whether news is a fake or a real. Then
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Neelam Bora ma'am, you're supposed to. Thank you.
Most of the time, the images we find in WhatsApp or something which are fake, these are actually the doctored images. They have been actually converted in one form to another. Means उनके अंदर कुछ change कर देते हैं. So how these images are actually they come into a fake category. If how do they come to know that
Look,
this is
that
fake?
text comparison is there nowadays. The text they can compare, but the image comparison is not exactly that fine. But they can do. But there was a very limited sources. Let's say there was a picture was shared by me along with the Amitabh Bachchan, right? And it was the first time I've shared with the on the WhatsApp or somewhere, right, on the news agency. But there is a no reference point whether I actually met with the Amitabh Bachchan or not, right?
Means there is a
So on the pictures currently there was a no. I never heard or read about this how they are identifying it. They are just identified by the confirmation on the sources only.
Because images do spread like anything. Means they are actually fake sometimes, but you cannot make it out that it is fake or not.
As there is no database for the photographs of everyone, na?
Yes. Okay.
So the NLP techniques, just to overview you how it's work. One is the lemmatization. That means they reduce the word into the single form for the easy analysis, right? So whatever the form you are having, they make it to the basic form for the single analysis. The stemming, that means they convert cutting the inflected word into their root form. If you are using any of the verb or anything, let's say second or third form of the verb, or if you are using a adverb, so they try to make it on the root form and then check what does it mean, right? And the morphological segmentation, that means they divide the word into the multiple morphemes on the possible scenarios, like unlikely. So that can be converted into the three morphos, right? U and as a can be separate, like can be separate, and likely can be separate, right? Then the word segmentation, right? So they can divide all the continuous text into the distinct unit and separate all the word. Then the parsing, that means the grammatical analysis of the word. Then they can check with respect to the part of a speech whether this word is belongs to which part of the speech, right? Whether it's a noun, whether it's a pronoun, whether it's a verb or something adjective, right? And then they did the sentence breaking and the placing sentence, all the in the continuous word, what many sentence can be formed to understand that particular sentence. So these are the measure techniques used by the NLP to understand the natural language. So I believe this all about the NLP before going on a data. So any question on the NLP? Otherwise we can go on a data. So NLP I had taken a little bit longer, reason being that was the important topic and the a thing where the more and most development is going on nowadays, and which is getting connected with our life, which is touching our life on a everyday basis. Okay, should I start data? Just acknowledgement I required.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, thank you. So on now going on the data, right? We already discussed yesterday about the data and all. So before going on the live demonstration, how the data is supposed to be handled and how it's supposed to be worked, I want you to understand there was a two kind of a data. One is a quantitative and another one is a qualitative. When we talk about the quantitative data, that means all the number, all the things which you can measure, right? That is usually a quantitative data. And another, the qualitative, where you are talk about the character descriptions or the smell, taste, texture, attraction, anything which cannot be measured but can be expressed but cannot be measured, right? That is where qualitative data. Now in the quantitative data, you are having a continuous and the discrete, right? When we talk about this discrete type of data, it's a data which cannot be measured in the float. It can be integer only. Let's say if I ask how many students are there today in a classroom, I cannot say about it's a 41.2. I can say it's a 41 or a 40, right? And the continuous data, it can be taken from any range, right? Okay, let's say if I want to measure my voice in the air, right? So it will be range between the let's say 20 to 21 dBm, for example. But I cannot be having the exact value of my voice in the air currently. But I can get the value in the range. Like my voice wattage on the air, it's something between the 21 to 25 dBm, or it's a 7 to 8 dBm, right? So on this database, why this data was discussed, like one of the most important part of the data, like how you are handling the data and how the database has been prepared. So the basic form of data is on the spreadsheet, which I supposed to show you here, the live example with this. So how many of you aware about this Excel working and all, the uses of Excel and all?
We have experience in uh, not the specific functions which are being used.
Okay, so I'm not going to teach you all about the Excel, right? I'm just giving you the example how the Excel was supposed to use, right? Yeah, how the data was managed at the Excel. So I'm just checking if I can having the any of the ready-made file so that I can use it. Okay, let me create one data. If I want to have the database of the more than 100,000, right? Or the maybe 1,000. So what I can do, I can have the database over here. I can use the Excel for the very limited functions, and then on the advanced version of the Excel will be the SQL or the database management. So let's say if I'm having a name, class, location, right? So let me put the okay. So this spreadsheet usually used to maintain the data. There was a multiple columns and row, right? Where I can use, but I'm coming to the point what I supposed to show you. Uh, Let me copy the grade common for all. Location. Okay. Now let me put the grades, right? A, B, C, A, D, A, B, B, C, 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 A, D, D, A, B, C. Okay. Let's say just understand there was a number of student. Let's say maybe 1,000 or more than this. And if I want to filter, right? How many people of grade A, how many got the grade B or a grade C, right? So with this Excel, if there was a data is less, I can do the filtration over here directly. I can select it here, right? How many of a grade A, how many of a grade B and grade C. The another method, what I can do with respect to the name and with respect to the graded, I can make one of the chart also. Okay, let me delete this one. Oh, I have to make the percentage, then only it will be calculated in this. So let me. It's not making a pie right now. So I have to put some more filter to make the pie. Okay, let's say 90. Or if I want to check the location wise also. So here I meant to say like I can filter out and I can make it with reference to this one. So let me open some of the any old file where I'm having all the data to cover the more time. Let me see. Commando. Mm, Okay. In place of grade, I'm putting the marks. Then only I can compare. Okay. Because I have to give a reference for the grade for the chart vector so that they can have the comparison. So let's say if I want to compare like how many student got on the which range and what is my criteria. So to represent the data, I can use the database, which I want to show you here, right? On the same time, if I want to change the chart also, I can change in the how I can show the difference. These are the data, right? And now to make this data more presentable, along with this, how was process. So for that we used to have this data sheets which supposed to be maintained, which should be the input. Like previously I give an input of the data where it was a qualitative data, not the quantitative. So ABCD, it was not getting recognized. So I have to make a reference for that. Like A belongs to 90 or a B belongs to this. If I can set that range and I can make that function, then I can have this, more presentable of the data. The same time I can showcase in the pie chart also, like how many of this are part of this particular range. So what does I mean by this? As you are aware about this Excel and all function, so this Excel was used to maintain the data, right? So if you are having all the data, like you have to maintain all the entries, database for the analysis and all. So you have to use some of the database, right? Where you can have all the data, you can present data in a multiple formats, multiple charts, right? So I'm directly jumping to the chart part, right? On the data visualization. So there was a different kind of a data visualization which you can do on the basis of this data you are having. So pie chart is one of them, right? Bar chart is one of them. When you want to show the comparison, then you can use a bar chart, right? The bar chart which I shown previously, if I can select the bar, so here I can have the comparison with the trend line. Like the trend line of 100 and all are this one. So for the comparison, I can use the bar chart. While for this trend and all, whether it was going, if this all data belongs to the one student only, so I can have the trend, and this is from the class number 1 to 16 something or 19. So I can have the trend of that particular student, like how his career was moving or how his grade was moving, right? So for that I can have the line chart where I can have all the trend line and all. The next was the scattered plotters chart. So that will not work here. It's shown with respect to the reference. If I can having a reference of a multiple locations and I can suppose to showcase. So here I can have. So here is only one reference. That's why you are able to see only one dot. If I want to compare this ABD with the ABC guy, and I'm comparing the same function or the same grade of the ABC, so I can have the comparison on this scale, right? So these all are the different kind of charts just to represent the data visualization. So whatever the data you are having here, that can be visualized with the basis of multiple charts and all. So this is one of the technique which you're supposed to use while you are doing the data analysis. So this can be used for the multiple reasons and multiple things, like how the data can be visualized. And the importance is to have the the comparison and the communications whenever you are building a story. AI story base and the storytelling is one of the more important topic, right, which we will cover on the last day. So whenever you are talking about the AI story or a success story, with what I can call, so you have to showcase the data visualization. And if you are showing a simple this data, and let's say this data was something in the number of entries, right? Let's say this data was in a number of entries for multiple pupils, right? So how he can do this? So how you can show this data visualization by using the pattern of the data. On the basis of the pattern, you can select the right chart, whether you want to show the pie chart with the comparison, right? On the overall, you want to show the scattered plot chart with the relationship difference between the this kind of one student. If you want to showcase the grades and the output of male versus female in your classroom, or you want to show with this comparison of the two guy itself, so that can be used. If you want to show the trend line, where you want to show like the how the improvement is going on, you can select this line chart. Or if you want to show only a comparison normal, you can select the bar. So these all are for the data visualization part only, right? So this was the topic which I want to touch you, but further we will discuss this on the day 3, why it was important and how it's supposed to be used. Now I left with one topic of the day, right? So let me start with that. So it was the maths for AI, right? So all this, any confusion on this spreadsheet part? As you are aware, I just want to showcase you the importance of the data visualization. So any question on that before going on the this one maths?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
So before going on the maths, I just forget to touch one part, why this maths is important and why this one. So before going on this, you are aware about this binary, right? How the computer works. You guys aware about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? Then how this binary is important, like this binary is a 0 1, right? So how you express to the computer, like how they read your text, how the computer understands your text, it's because of the ASCII code, and that ASCII codes are in a binary, right? So whatever you type is associated, that particular letter is associated with one of the ASCII code, and that ASCII code itself is a binary code which inform computer. You type a and the ASCII code for the A is, for example, 01010. So they understand computer ki they type a, right? So the text is represented by the ASCII code. Similar manner, the colors and the image, right, that are also represented by the binary code. So how it was represented by the binary code, right? It's on the basis of the pixel. So pixel is this screen is contain of multiple pixels, and if there is some image over here, so that is also a pixel, which is the teeny square shape area, right, which is having a graphical representation, and it's a rectangular area, right? And on the basis of pixel, let's say if I'm having a 1 bit per pixel, that means I can have the black and white computer. The old age computer was the 1 bit per pixel. Nowadays we are having a multiple 16-bit pixels are also available. You heard about this 65K true color pixel, right, which was sold by the televisions also, or the monitor also, and all. 65K true color ultra HD, right? So that means they are having a 16-bit per pixel, right? That means they are having a 65K possible colors can be added on that particular pixel. So it is also understood in the binary form only, right? Then next, the sound. Again, the sound is also captured in the binary. How the sound is captured in the binary? That sound was, let's say you are having an analog sound. Sound is always analog. I'm talking, and how it was converted into the digital. the very first process, it convert it to the digital, right? In a digital signal. Then it was having a sampling on the basis of my sound in the binary form, and that sampling is exactly map and match with this the analog sound, and on the basis of the frequency, whatever it said, it was getting corrected to the sound. Let's say if you downloaded some of the music file on the from the internet, they used to ask you what bits you want, whether a 128 bits you want or you want a 256 bit. There was option was shown on a few of the files, so that bits was actually the more accurate sampling data, so that that frequency can be matched, right? Like that frequency sampled on the 44 100 kilohertz or the 48 k kilohertz. So this was the binary. Now this all are the binaries, so we required a maths to understand the system, right? And the mathematics is the language, right? It's not a magic. So the basically we required three basic maths to develop any AI or to understand any AI. One is a linear algebra, right? That calculus, and the probability. So these are the three basic mathematics which is required for the any artificial intelligence. So when we talk about this, I'm just forwarding this one. We already discussed on the self-learning curve. So by this putting an example, what I meant to say, this self-driven car was possible only because of the mathematics. Cause the friction of the tire, right? Cause the momentum of the car, the distance of the object, right? The turn and the the velocity of the car, the torque of the car. It's everything is a maths. So this self-driven car is possible only because of the maths which was applied on the AI behind it. And this linear algebra is the I'm sorry, linear algebra is the one of the key mathematics and the basic mathematics which is required for this. And I believe you all are aware about this linear algebra, scalars. It's a simple arithmetics. The linear algebra is. Just for example, if I am having I have to buy a phone, right? And with the 50% discount, that it's a 50,000 divided by 2. It's a simple arithmetic, right? If I want to buy a 5 phone, that means with the same 50% discount, that means a 25 multiplied by 5 will be the cost, right? If I want to add any accessories, then it's the cost of the accessory plus the phone cost will be my answer. If I don't want the accessory, it's a simple arithmetic on the linear algebra. While the second factor of this algebra, when it's come to the vector, right, it's become little bit typical. So how many of you are aware about these vectors and all?
Yes, sir, we know.
So vector is something used in everywhere. If you ask by any of the computer science student, they will talk about the vector. That means the list of the numbers which are represented. If you talk about the physics student or the any physicians who's working on this, so they can use vector for the some of this color with the direction or the difference between the plane, right? And if you talk about any mathematician to work on the vector, he can combine the both the thing, the numbers of the computer science as well as the direction of the physics, right? So we have to learn and we must be aware about all the operations on the vectors, right? So there was a multiple operations which is required on the vector. So I am touching one of the basic, the dot product. If you remember, it was probably in the class 9th or 10th, right? Where we are having how to add the vectors, right? The vector addition is known as a dot product. So A vector B vector is equal to A plus B and A2 plus B2, A1 plus B1, right? So if let's say the V1 and V2 are the vector, so it will be how it will be added. It will be added with the V1 plus V2, and the V1's value will be added as the A vector dot V vector and A1 plus V1 and A2 plus B2. If let's say these are the 1, 2 and vector. You want me to brief this, or you are aware about this?
We know about it.
Sir, vector addition, so we do with the parallelogram law vector addition,
Right.
triangular law vector addition, not with the dot product. Sir, dot product is meant different, no?
Dot product is also the vector, when it's come on the mathematics part of
Sir,
view.
when
How
we
to
multiply two vectors in order to get the scalar, then we do
Right.
dot product.
It's the scalar multiplication, which I this
Yes,
one,
sir.
right? So if you are doing a scalar multiplication, then also with the dot. And if you are doing with the some of the constant, putting on the constant the multiplication, then it will be the basis on the constant dot vector. And the similar way, the projection of the vectors, it's again the scalar projection, right? So where we are having the projection of vector v1 on the v2, if you want to do, so there is a simple mathematics. The vector of v1 multiply by dot the vector v2 by the magnitude of v2. So these all are vectors. Then the matrix, they all are required for the any of the AI program. So these are the basic mathematics for this. And other than the matrix, I believe matrix, you again, you guys are aware about the matrix, right? The addition of the matrix, how to solve the equation which we derive from the matrix, right? And the kind of the matrix, if we are having a raw, column, square, diagonal, dense matrix. So this you have to, if you want to start working on the AI, you have to again, brush up of your old school mathematics. Again, the probability, which probability probably we are using in every day, and this might be aware, like there was a multiple things on the probability, but this is the three basic mathematics required for any of the AI development. So algebra, linear algebra, and the probability. So this all for the today's. Any of the doubt, question, or any of the slide you want me to repeat?
So will touch about the macro coding in Excel with data, because it is quite useful for data analysis part. Macro coding.
Macro you can create that's a very separate part of this. If you want to have the macro to, if let's say you have to average for one particular kids over here, right? And there was a number of kids and you want to perform the operation a multiple times, so you can create a macro. But that
Okay.
is not covered in the session, but you can create a macro, or you can use it.
Because that is, I think, the key ingredient in for data analytics part.
Right. I am agree. For the heavy data working, you have to do this. And what was the topic we covered today is with related to the statistics on this data part.
Yeah.
Like how the data visualization can be done.
Yeah, actually, for data analytics part, I am saying because again the future era is definitely will be focused on the data analytics part, and if we train our kids for this part, macro coding, it's quite easy, definitely, because then definitely it will help the kids, the students, to get a handsome job in the future part also.
Absolutely right. So probably this we can request to the Manisha ma'am and all, if they can have one, if there is a possibility to make a session on these particular things, maybe in the future for this data analytical part, which can cover all this technique from the basic macro or the Python. Also, we can use the Excel with the Python.
Yeah. So yeah, it will be definitely helpful for us also. Thank you, sir.
So
Thanks so
what
much.
would be the syllabus for tomorrow's day after tomorrow's session? Because actually we are not having what we are going to study in these 3 days. In the
Ma'am,
last
I request like you have to rebrush all the things, and what we are discussing at that topic, if you can rebrush. The day after tomorrow will be the ethics part, what we will cover.
Okay, and what we have to study for tomorrow's, because that is a self-learning day.
So self-learning, you can repeat like on the deep learning part what we discussed today, right?
Okay. And today also you'll give one any assessment or assignment?
Yeah, assessment is there.
Okay, sir.
So can you also provide some references for this deep study of deep learning, or some practical examples, some references, links, something like that?
Deep learning examples, like as I said, deep learning, the working has been usually done on the hidden layers, but there was a multiple example. Like I pick up one live example of the Facebook blogs only from the Facebook side. I use this. So there was on the deep learning, you can
So
have this
actually, sir
Facebook
may
wall
be asking for some kind of notes, because when we
No,
did
it's okay.
the assessment yesterday,
Let me check.
there were few
Manisha,
things which were not, being told by you in the session. There are so many things which were out of the, whatever we did in the session. So we want something like that so that we can get, good
yes,
marks in
sure.
your assessment.
And if you remember, like I start with the same question only. Like I intentionally put so many question out of the things which we did not discuss. Like I just touch base upon the things, like the tuning test. I touch base upon the things. The history of this AI, I was just touch upon, so that by looking at the question, you can have the more curiosity to know the answer, and probably you can do some research to get the answer. So that's why I put intentionally some of the questions.
Sir, you
Will-
can give us some link from where we can,
Yeah, sure.
learn all these
Sure.
things in deep.
Manisha, ma'am, are we sharing this slide pack also? Manisha?
Yes, we can share that. We will share in WhatsApp group.
So you can share both the slide, day one and day two.
Okay.
So
Previous
they
one
can
and
have,
this one. Fine.
right. So there was a few slide which I did not show because of the time limitations. I pass on, right? So you can read. There was a repeated example or something. So as a reference, you can use this one also, and I can also share that examples and some of the links.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what about the assessment results? How will get to know about it? Correct answers?
Ma'am, we will share the status sheet by today and or maybe tomorrow. So
Okay.
there you can see and check your progress.
Okay, right.
So any of the question or related something, no, means probably we will share this slide on the WhatsApp, so you can go through, or if you want me to repeat any of the topic, right? So what we can do on the beginning of day 3, means our next session, we will cover up all your doubts, and then we will start.
Sir, one more thing I want to ask. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes.
Sir, we have studied most of the concept of AI in previous session and this session also. So how can we implement these with the machine? Like some coding part is there, which language we are going to use for doing all these
Lisp
things?
is there, I think, if I'm not wrong, Satnam sir.
The Python, sorry, ma'am.
I am asking about Lisp, Lisp.
Yeah, Lisp is there. You can also use the Python also for the same. MicroPython is also used nowadays for this particular things. So there's AI based. There is a project, like a multiple project you can prepare with the help of Raspberry Pi and all. As you, if you are belongs to the ATL school, or you are having the ATL in your school, so you can do on the basis of this. So that coding part, like one is the electronics part, what idea you want to implement, what sensor you required, right? And then you have to put your development part, like what goal you're supposed to set for the sensors and the output, and that you can write down basis on the board. If it's your Raspberry Pi, you can use the Python or the MicroPython. If it's something else, you can use Lisp, or it's depend on the design what you are creating. Or if you are creating any of the website, then you can also use this again the Python with embedded on the HTML and all.
Is it similar to the programming of Arduino, like Arduino programming I have done in ATL?
No. It's a little bit different, Sandeep. Actually, in Arduino, you are programming the Arduino in the same manner, right? But you have to,
C++ basically.
you have to visualize all the database and the output options also. Means you can make it on the Arduino also on the same programming syntax remain the same, but you have to put the logic on the basis of this along with some data collector or also. Means you have to add some component for the data collector and all. If you want to do the analysis, let's say you are preparing for the environmental study related some project, AI project, right? And you are collecting something environmental related data and you want it to be showcased, and the action can be taken on the basis of the data and the output of your program, right? So you can, means on the same baseboard you can create, but the other component also you have to think about that.
Okay, fine, sir. And sir, one more thing I want to ask: do we cover any this coding part also in this training?
No, it's just as I
Can
said,
we
it's
have
a
a
crash
Python
course.
session? Or in a near future? Not,
Maybe
it's
that
not
that can
possibly,
be commented by Manisha ma'am, right? She
because
can
we
comment.
are actually in a very actually early stage of Python, so we need a lot of actually instructions and all,
Definitely,
or
ma'am. Step by
guidance.
step do these things. Yes, ma'am.
So I believe probably
This is the,
Manisha
I
ma'am can
think,
help us on this.
yes. This is the level 1 training. Same batch will get the level 2 training. So in upcoming months, you will get level 2 training. There you will learn about the programming languages and everything. That will be the advanced course.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So it's like a crash course. What you can take it from here, like you learn about the topics, you got the touch upon the topics. I can say you are just touching about the topic, you are building the concept of the topic. Now go detail on the every topic, and each and every topic itself is having the 7 to 10 days of learning sessions is required. If you are going only on the deep learning, it will again require the 7 to 10 days learning. So start with this self learning on the basis of curiosity what you are having from here, and probably on the next session, right, we can have the level 2 where we will cover 1 or 2 topic in the detail with the programming, with the parts more detail, right? And then level 3 with the high level programming and the all the concept cover. So you can have this the means I made you take out your curiosity and start reading on the things and try to correlate on the real-time examples. The things are very easy. The coding part is also very easy. Only the syntax is something which you're supposed to learn in the coding. Rest all the logic and the design thinking can help you.
Mathematics actually helps a lot, because
Right.
logic is through.
So can we close today's session, Manisha ma'am?
So,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
shall we leave the class?
Yes, sure. Thank you all.
Thank you
Okay,
so
sir.
much, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher.